Well, we're still here.
Oh, by the grace of Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. You know, we start every episode with gratitude because I think the world needs a little more gratitude, and especially in show business.
Of course.
I mean, the fact that we're still doing episodes. You know, I did a sitcom, 2 episodes in, canceled.
Right.
Do you understand that's like a record? You understand that showing gratitude and being aware that anything you do that continues from life, you know, waking up in the morning to episodes, you have to give a little gratitude.
Yeah.
So Baruch Hashem, and welcome to Stars of David. That's right. This is the only show that asks the question, why is this podcast different from all other podcasts? I'll tell you why, Eli. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because this is a celebration of Jewish culture, comedy, and kvetching. Yes, we will kvetch.
Yes.
We will kvetch.
Yes.
But we have a lot to cover today, Eli. How are you, by the way? Can I introduce you properly?
Sure. Yeah, do it.
I'm Elon Gold, and this is the great, the one and only. And speaking of Baruch Hashem, there is only one and only.
Yeah.
I mean, two, three of, imagine the world with 2, 3 of you.
Yeah, well, there are other people named Eli Leonard that I've actually been in touch with.
How'd that go?
We're going to have a summit, I think.
A get-together, like a weekend, a
Yeah,
Shabbaton?
Yeah, an Eli Leonard Shabbaton.
Eli Leonard Shabbaton.
Yeah.
Can I come to that?
No,
That's not fair.
you're not allowed. If there was an Elon Gold Shabbaton, I wouldn't be there.
Okay, but like after Shabbos, I'll do like the Havdalah show. I'll do 20 minutes.
This is not going to be affiliated with any religion. This is just Eli affiliated.
Eli Leonard, folks. Listen, this is a big show. You know, what we do here is highlight Jewish stars of today. And good golly, if there isn't a more shining, bright star than Montana Tucker, who has put herself out there in a way that I don't think anybody else has. I mean, there are a lot of people doing great advocacy, but Montana is like, it's every day. It's kind of become her job, and nobody does it better. She's incredible. We're excited to talk to her. There's a lot to kvetch about. And you know me, Eli. I don't mean to complain, but when I say good morning to another person, a stranger, someone I don't know, I want to hear good morning back.
Yeah.
Right?
Why wouldn't you?
Right. So this just happened this morning. I'm walking by, on the way up here. I'm walking by, there's a guy in the lobby. Nice, seems like a nice guy. And as the nice guy that I am, to total strangers, I turn to him and go, good morning.
Right.
And he just looks at me, doesn't say good morning back, which is already...
I mean, that's okay if you don't
respond. It's
respond.
fine to... Is it?
Yeah. If you don't need to respond to everything you get, but is that it?
Good morning deserves a reciprocal...
Some people just aren't in the mood to say anything. I mean,
it is the morning after all.
Yeah.
And you're not in the mood. Okay.
So that's fine.
This is worse.
Oh.
He takes about 4 or 5 seconds, looks at me and goes, good afternoon. He had to correct me. And then I looked at my phone. This is 12:14 p.m.
Right.
12:14 p.m. Now, I woke up this morning at 9, okay? So to me, if you wake up at 6, I understand how, you know, the morning kind of ends at 12.
Right.
You wake up at 9, the morning doesn't end till 1 or 2. I'm still groggy. But the point is, technically, yes, the morning ends at 12 noon. But at 12:14, do you correct someone?
No. Well, it's a little upsetting that he took time to consider.
Yeah.
4 or 5 seconds in between, I'd prefer the silence. If I was to say good morning, and then at 12:15, you know, even 12:16.
Yeah.
Can I just go out on a limb here? 12:16, I would still think I'd rather have the silence than someone saying good afternoon.
It's interesting that you say at 12:16, because then I get in the elevator, and at 12:16 p.m., I look at our great engineer here, Aaron, and I say, good morning. And he turns to me and says, good morning.
Okay, well,
This was 12:16.
that's the power of employing someone. They will say whatever
I'm
you
not
want.
paying anybody. No one here is getting paid.
You're right.
This is
Sorry.
a podcast.
Sorry.
Do you understand how these things work?
I'm so sorry. But there is a power dynamic, don't you think? You know, where you're sort of the host and everyone in here is sort of
In
just
your
yes
head.
manning you.
Yeah,
yes,
in
yes,
your
Elon,
head.
yes, Elon,
Everyone
yes.
in here?
Everyone
you mean
in
Megan,
here.
our producer, and Aaron?
Yes.
Everyone in
It's-
here. And are they yes manning me?
Yeah, it's getting pretty tiring.
the things that are in your head are astounding.
Thank you.
Oh, I come to work and my boss, everyone just yes mans him.
That's funny.
It's crazy.
It's funny for me to say.
Funny crazy.
Yeah, funny crazy. That's funny crazy.
Speaking of funny crazy, my good friend Jeff Goldblum,
Oh.
who's one of the funniest, and when I say crazy, I mean good crazy, not
Yeah.
like,
He's a gem.
he's a gem of a human.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't like a national treasure. You can name the movies he's in and everyone saw them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So here's the thing. The only thing I don't like about doing this show, and I do love doing it, and especially with you, but I don't like,
Michael Caine.
This is my Michael Caine. Michael Caine always talks about things he doesn't like, right? I don't like grapefruits. They're very bitter and they will destroy your enamel. I don't like them. It's like, who doesn't like grapefruits? Michael Caine doesn't. Anyway, Jeff Goldblum is a friend of mine, okay? I'm proud to call him a friend. And
Do you think it's two-way street?
no,
Okay, cool.
no, not at all. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
There are people who are fans of mine who think that we're friends.
Yes.
We're not friends.
Yes.
And imagine that level of
Right.
Jeff Goldblum.
Right.
But then again, does he invite me to his shows? And then when I'm at the shows, will he bring me up on stage and we'll do Dueling Goldblum? Sure.
Oh.
Right.
Okay,
Has he?
that's not nothing.
Oh, yeah. Do we have a nice exchange? And every time we see each other, but has he been to my Shabbat dinner table? No.
Okay.
Larry David has.
Right. of
Albert
course.
Brooks has.
Yes, of course.
But Jeff Goldblum has to come. Anyway, so I email him and he writes back. What a delight to just read it. May I read it as him?
Yes.
Okay, this is
of
the
course.
actual email from Jeff Goldblum. And the subject is my podcast. Okay, and I will read it as him. Shana Tova, you genius. Like already.
Wow.
Genius. I'm not a genius.
Okay, Shana Tova, he's doing.
3 exclamation points after genius, by the way. Shana Tova, you genius. Thank you so much. I'm not improvising. I'm reading.
Yeah.
So. There were 2 so's.
Okay.
3 exclamation points. Schedule full to bursting. Love full to bursting, by the way. Okay. Schedule full to bursting. Please forgive me if I must pass up all these delicious opportunities.
No.
Because I invited him to a sukkah party too.
Oh,
So he was
wow.
including the podcast and the sukkah party as delicious opportunities.
Full to bursting with other delicious opportunities. And
mean-
this is something that he's like, oh, I can't have the dessert.
Right.
I can't have this.
And then here's how he ends. Love, 3 loves, you madly, Jay. And by the way, 5 exclamation points after madly.
Wow.
This I could post this if nobody believes it.
Wow.
This is it's a gem of a you called it right. It's a gem of a human.
Well, okay. So to me, that's an incredible email to receive.
Right.
Emails to me usually are meant to be just sort of personal, like behind the scenes. Like you don't
so
really,
you don't divulge
you don't necessarily divulge what an
publicly?
email says. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily did you get his consent?
Are you saying our friendship, me and Jeff's, it's finished after he hears this?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not
Okay.
saying that.
You're just saying I'm taking a liberty that I probably shouldn't
You're
take.
taking I would say, yes, a big liberty.
You know what I think, though? You're probably right, but to Jeff Goldblum, the world is a stage.
Yeah.
So even the email he would want publicly read.
Yeah,
And he
and-
loves the impression.
And you know that because you've been in his head. You do the Goldblum. You actually know what he thinks.
No,
you've spent enough time. I know that because when you do impressions, you actually
You
get in
embody
their head.
them.
Yeah. So you believe that because of your ability to sort of take him on as
Yes.
a character,
Yes.
that you would know what he would want. And I actually think that's true.
Thank you.
I actually think that's something that's very true.
So you refuted your own
I
argument.
am refuting my own argument because your argument didn't really work for me. So I had to argue your side as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always able to make peace with myself when I'm arguing the other side.
And that was another edition of I'm Glad We Stopped for This. The super lovely, super amazing in so many ways, Montana Tucker. When I called my manager this morning, the great Willie Mercer, I called him up and he's like, "Who's on the pod today?" I said, "Montana Tucker." And he went, "Wow." Literally, he was like, "She is incredible. She is the voice of this generation's Jewish people and the voice of humanity." And
He said that.
yeah. And then he goes, is she Jewish? I'm like, are you kidding me? She did this incredible docu-series about her grandmother being in Auschwitz, and went there with her and her mom, who's, by the way, in studio. Lovely Michelle. The lovely Michelle. Anyway.
But also, like, what else do I have to do to like scream that I'm Jewish? Because I feel like all I've done the past year
Correct.
is to scream that I'm Jewish
It's
and
all
proud.
you've done, and you've done it beautifully.
Reverse nose job.
But
Put some on it.
put a little on the top.
Put a little
Instead
on
of
the
take
top.
a little off the
Yeah,
top.
yeah.
Put a little on the top.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, but then he says, but neither Montana nor Tucker are Jewish names.
I know. And you know what? My sister, her name is Shayna. Shayna
wow.
Punham.
Wow.
So she got the Jewish name.
Wow, she got all of the
All
Jews.
of the Jewish. And my mom's maiden name is Schmidmeyer.
What?
I know.
That
So
sounds
she's
like
really
a,
Michelle
that
Schmidmeyer.
sounds like a Yiddish curse, you Schmidmeyer. You know what this guy is a big Schmidmeyer. That's your, wow.
What if my name was Montana Schmidmeyer?
Oh my
Imagine.
God, that's incredible. Anyway, so then you're having total success. And what was it? Was it the trip to Auschwitz? Was it before that? Was it during that? Was it after that? What the hell happened where you shifted everything?
Yeah, well, so like I obviously grew my platforms on dancing, on singing, on acting. And again, with the name Montana Tucker, like I wasn't throwing it in everyone's faces that, hi, I'm Jewish. Hi, I support Israel. Hi, my grandparents are Holocaust survivors.
You weren't hiding it either.
Not
though.
hiding it at
Right,
all.
right.
I just like, that's what I was doing on social media. I was dancing. I was dancing in the streets of Hollywood Boulevard with Terry Crews or Paula Abdul, or like just doing random things and brand deals. I was doing so many brand deals with different movie studios or different, record labels that would have new artists with new songs come out. They'd hire me to do a dance video. So that was my thing. And then when my Zadie passed away 4 years ago at age 97, or now more than 4 years, almost 4.5 years.
There is there you do say sorry at this point, or is there a limit of 4 years to sorry?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
There's definitely
I'm
a
so sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, obviously, and then also, and because no matter, this is a real thing. I was almost going for a bit there, but no matter how old, when you lose, especially a parent, but even a grandparent, it's never enough. And you go, but 97 years, like good luck.
Oh, never.
And
No.
then you always miss, and it's never enough. But I am sorry, but I was trying to do a bit of, isn't it past the time where you, is that a curb thing?
I don't know, but here's the thing. What I wanted to do was sort of avoid making a death into a bit with
No,
you.
I understand.
No,
that,
no,
but at the
right,
same time,
yeah.
I genuinely felt guilty about it. I didn't say sorry about your grandfather.
Okay.
So then
Well,
I
then
go,
it's
but
fine.
it's 4.5 years.
Yeah.
Sorry that I
Sorry.
interrupted you.
Sorry. Sorry. But yeah, and so I rewatched both my grandparents are survivors, my mom's parents, and I rewatched the Shoah Foundation testimonials and
Of theirs?
of their testimonies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
my Zadie grandma, their testimonies are so powerful. They're insane, the stories. Like I can talk all day about them. But I heard them my whole life, of course, growing up. When you rewatch them as an adult, and especially after my Zadie passed, I felt it differently, and I was like, I need to do something like with this, And so I was gonna originally just go to, my mom and I were gonna go to Poland just on our own to go see it, and then we're like, hey, I have the opportunity to reach millions of people who, especially at the time, my following was only Gen Z, like only the younger generation.
Yes.
Now it's like the moms and the kids watch my content together,
Right.
which is great.
But then you're there, and it's not like you gave up acting, dancing.
No,
and
no,
you're
no.
still doing it.
No, 100%. I think it just, for me, because I was so close to my grandparents, like this is actually my Zadie's ring that I never take off.
my
You'll literally
God.
never see me not have it on. This was his wedding band.
Wow.
And this was his bracelet. He had some really cool jewelry.
Wow.
So I was just extremely close with them. And when I rewatched it, I said, we're going to do this documentary where I'm going to educate younger generation, which a lot of my followers didn't even know about the Holocaust, which is insane. It's not even like they're against us. They just don't even know. But so that was the first time I really educated my followers on me being Jewish, on me, on my grandparents' stories. And then until October 7th, I did a sit-down conversation with Doug Emhoff where we talked about our experiences at Auschwitz. I hosted Israel's 75th anniversary with Kamala and Doug. So I was doing a lot in this space already and using my platforms to combat anti-Semitism and all forms of hate through dance, through music, through all that. And then obviously October 7th happened, and it just like everything in my body shut down. And I was like, this is the time that I need to do this, especially knowing my grandparents' story so much and knowing what they would say. My grandma's still alive, thank gosh, but she has Alzheimer's over 16 years. So fortunately and unfortunately, she doesn't know what's going on right now.
Right.
But
This is your parent?
This is my mom's parents. So I knew that this there's no other option for me. And I feel there's no other option for any Jew. And that's why it drives me crazy. I'm sorry when Jews are not stepping up right now, because this is our time.
I
This
get
is
it.
our time that we have to. And there really isn't another option.
Yeah.
Because God forbid there was another Holocaust, which there is not.
Right.
But God forbid, it doesn't matter if you're kind of Jewish or if you like,
Oh, if you're one,
if,
what was
if
it,
you don't
1/8?
support Israel, it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
Because you would be sent to
Yeah.
the camps.
Yes.
Regardless.
100%.
So that's
So
kind of-
it's fascinating to me that you were already on the journey pre-October 7th.
Mhm.
And then you just ramped it up. And then you went to Israel. How many times in the
been
last
there
year?
4 times. Honestly, like I would be there every day if I could.
Same.
Even when I'm there, I'm doing really hard, intense work.
Right.
I actually haven't been to Israel to have like fun
I know.
since this.
And
to just
it's
hang out.
so fun when
it's
it's
the best
not
place
so
ever.
depressing.
But even throughout all that, it's still my favorite place, and I would do it a million times over every single
agree.
time, because it's like you feel this sense of. Have you been back since the 7th, or have you ever been?
No, I haven't been. I haven't been in a while.
Okay,
a long time.
you need to go.
Yeah.
You need to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
People
like
are trying to get me to go.
as they should.
I
But he's very connected to it. Eli's very connected
Yeah,
to
and
it. And
it's-
his mom is like
it's the
helped
sense
run
of-
the Jewish agency with the president of Israel,
Yeah.
Bougie.
Wow,
So his whole family,
amazing.
his history is very into it. We're going to go to Israel hopefully to do a show together, a stand-up
Yes,
show.
you should.
Wait, but then I wanted to ask you, because I went to Israel 3 times, and you know what this podcast is called, right?
It's not about me.
Yeah. But I went 3 times and in the last year. And my first 2 times, I just needed to go out there and do shows to give my people in our homeland a break from the hell and the horror and just a laugh. So I did a few shows, Jerusalem Theater, whatever, and then I did shows for soldiers. And then my 3rd time, I was there to rehearse for this upcoming movie that I'm doing, and then I just did 1 show. But my 3rd time there, I did have a different feeling. It was the first time ever that I felt unsafe, insecure. This was just before the second Iran attack. And I felt it was imminent. I felt like it could be raining rockets any second, which it now is. Crazy, even in Tel Aviv. I felt that. I felt the internal strife. That was upsetting to me.
Yeah.
Jews fighting with Jews over Bibi, over this, over that, and it's like, God, that has to end immediately, because they see that as weakness, and that's when they,
100%.
yeah. And it was the very first time. I feel guilty. I'm going to get a lot of letters about this, because every time I leave Israel, I am miserably sad. You really feel like you're leaving home.
That's what I feel too.
You
I like cry every time.
cry.
I'm like, why am I crying?
Miserable. And my
Yeah.
favorite thing is the approach when you see the beaches and the water, and then it just becomes land, and
Yeah.
you see Tel Aviv and the Israeli towers, and you go, oh, I'm home.
Yep.
This time I left, I was relieved, and I'm ashamed to admit it. I was relieved because I felt so insecure.
Wow.
I was really like, oh, I made it out. I could go back and see my family. I'm never relieved. I'm never that frightened. So if not for people like you, and of course, IDF, you're the online warrior, but the IDF is really on the front lines.
No, the real hero, real life heroes.
I mean,
100%.
if we all put our guns down, we wouldn't be here. Like, that's just how it works. If we gave them a chance, and when I say them, I mean the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the Hamases and Hezbollahs. If we gave them a chance, we wouldn't be here. If we put our guns down and they put our guns down, we'd all be here.
And thank gosh for the Iron Dome, because the amount
Thank
of
God.
imagine if we didn't have the Iron Dome.
Yeah.
Israel would be wiped out a long time ago.
Isn't it crazy
Completely wiped
that
out.
anyone in Congress would ever vote against a self-defense measure? Forget, I understand, and funding, I don't agree with it, but I understand any sort of thinking, well, we shouldn't fund wars anywhere because people die. Yeah, I get that. Nobody wants anyone dead. But wait, this is to prevent civilian death of the Jews, Druze, Muslims, Christians, everyone.
What I wonder is, do you think that being on podcasts like this and having this conversation in our own community is just amplifying ourselves in an echo chamber without necessarily speaking about these issues to other people? Because when I see this happening, I see a lot of energy going back between, the two of you. And I see this a lot in Jewish circles right now about Israel. And it amplifies and it grows and it grows. And yes, like the power of your love for your homeland grows. But does it stop in any way the sort of the reaching out to other groups of people to have a conversation that maybe you would never have?
I think it starts
I think it starts it. And something that I've done also. So like, I've been saying this a lot. Like I've been trying to portray the same message in different ways. So if you look at all of my videos, they're all so different. but they're all portraying the same message at the end of the day. And I do these videos in public. I don't know if you guys have seen any of those, where I'll go out to like Santa Monica Pier, for instance, where it's like tourist central, you know. And I go with, I take
it's
different
dangerous
people
to
with
do
me.
this.
Yeah, we always have security, thank
Okay,
gosh.
but still, yeah.
But yes, and so we, you know, I always go into it with that headspace, like, okay, somebody's gonna get crazy with us, something is gonna like happen, whatever. And I'll go with different people. So I took a Muslim peace activist, Loai Al-Sharif. I don't know if you've seen him. He is incredible.
Beyond.
And he is like the most educated person I think I've ever met. Like,
And
he
one of
speaks
our
12
greatest
languages.
allies.
He's such an ally, but he grew up to literally hate Jews, and he shares his story. Like, his story is so powerful. And we went to Santa Monica Pier and we held up these signs.
I saw it. I loved it.
And he held a sign that said, "I'm a Muslim Arab who supports the only Jewish state of Israel," or something along those lines. And mine said, "I'm a Jewish American and I support peace of the Middle East. Like, let's talk." The amount of like dirty stares he got, like no one, not even to me, like he was getting the craziest dirty stares, right? Then there was this Irish man who had no ties whatsoever to Israel or Palestine or the Middle East. And he literally says to me, "Hitler had the right idea. Hitler was right."
Yeah.
In front of his two kids. Okay, so now that's all the negative. The positive that comes out of these, though, are people who actually do want to have conversations. So not only did that make an amazing viral video, thank gosh, the conversations we had in person, we were there for like 3 hours. We edited it to a 2-minute video. But we were there for 3 hours having conversations with people. A girl from Palestine was there, and she came up, and I had that on the video. And she said,
then
"I
you guys
support your
hugged at
piece."
the
And
end.
I couldn't believe it. She goes, "I support your piece. I'm from Palestine." And I said, "Can I give you a hug?"
Yeah.
Like, and that was such a beautiful moment. Then there was a group of Muslim like college students who were kind of questioning Loai, and they were having a conversation, and it ended in a, "You know what? I'm going to do more research. Thank you so much for educating me. Thank you so much for sharing." So yes, it goes a lot with, we are speaking to the echo chamber a lot, but you never know when it comes to content, when it comes to doing things in person, maybe a comedy show that you guys are doing, who's in the audience.
Can
that
affect
might,
change.
and that's why, and everyone relates to things differently.
Yeah.
That's why for me, I try to do different content all the time, because I know that, especially with the algorithm, you don't know, yes, my followers are going to see it, but you don't know who's going to scroll past that video.
Yeah.
That maybe has no interest in the conflict whatsoever, but they like dance. So then they're going to see my Nova dance video.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, "Oh, wait, I thought this was a music video. Wait,
Yeah.
what am I watching? Oh, wow, this is about what just happened at Nova."
Right.
And then they get hit with the reality of it.
Right.
So I do believe that, yes, we talk amongst ourselves a lot, but I do believe it has the power to
and it's
keep getting out
amazing
there.
to me that of all the guests to ask that question to, you're miss not preaching to the choir. You're miss preaching to everyone outside of the choir.
Well, my Jewish following only kind of really
yeah,
came on
and it
this
just
year,
was a
really.
tick
Yeah.
up compared to your millions of followers
Yeah.
anywhere. So yes, the conversation starts here. But she's the one that doesn't preach to the choir and doesn't just go on these podcasts. You're everywhere and you're speaking to everyone, and with great people like Luai, who, you know, this guy, I had him at my house, and
Did you? Oh,
he's such
I love
a
him.
sweetheart.
It's amazing.
But he's also studied, well studied.
Yeah.
You know why he's a lover of peace and coexistence? Because he understands the history.
Yep.
He understands and appreciates that many of the tenets of Islam come from Judaism. So now you have to respect, you know, what if you have a religion that is that is the birth, you know, the first monotheistic religion was Judaism. We know this in history. And then from Judaism birthed Christianity and then Islam. So for a Christian or someone who's Muslim not to at least appreciate and have some respect for where this idea of monotheism and Abrahamic principles comes from. So if you as a Christian or Muslim don't at least have some appreciation for Judaism, and that's why he knows the Torah by heart.
It's crazy.
He speaks Hebrew.
I know.
It's
He made me feel so guilty for not speaking Hebrew. He's like, "I speak Hebrew." I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry."
So now we
he's
get-
amazing. He's amazing.
So there's so much to talk about, so much to cover, and I want to get back to Israel and well, we'll get into it, but I have to start. Do we start yet? I have to start with every interview.
That was just a
start.
warm-up,
Yeah,
right?
that was it. And this is the best part, because this is the part where literally I say nothing, because I give you. We start with the 3 W's. This happened at one of our Shabbat dinner tables where I had too many people, and I was like, I got to get this into a cohesive group, but we all have to be talking instead of these little private combos. So I said, "Hey, everybody, let's go around the table and answer the 3 W's, okay?" And the 3 W's are, what are you working on? What are you worried about? And what do you wish for?
Ooh.
Take it away, Montana Tucker on the 3 W's.
Ooh, those are good ones.
Yeah.
What am I working on? Oh,
Movie.
I'm working on a lot, but
Saving the
just
Jewish people. Oh, I said I
Yes.
wouldn't talk.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
I knew that wasn't going to happen. Come on. We all know that's not a realistic thing. No, what am I working on? Well, I just got back from Israel 2 weeks ago and I filmed a documentary called The Children of October 7th. Out of all the things I've done, I would say that was probably the hardest.
Harder than the Auschwitz documentary?
You know why? Because you're speaking to these kids who have severe trauma and will
It's in the
forever
moment.
have trauma.
It's the Holocaust in color.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had to look them in the eyes while they're sharing their horrific stories with me. And I interviewed them almost a year after, and this trauma is still very much so there. And the fact that they were so strong, I had to be strong when internally I just like want to break down every 2 seconds.
Wow.
And I released 2 just like short clips on my Instagram, and actually 3. I'm sorry. Today was the 3rd one, and I interviewed about 7 kids. So, and then the
How does it come out and where?
The full length documentary. We're hoping to get it, or it's in some talks right now, but
platforms.
Yeah.
Get it out there.
Because last time when I did my Holocaust series, we solely made it for social media, and it did amazing. But I think this is something, especially these kids' stories. Again, it's not about the conflict. It's not about what your opinions are on the Middle East. Like these are just actual testimonies from these children.
Yes.
And there should be no other discussion about anything to do with the war. You have to just hear these stories. These
Sounds
personal
exactly
stories.
like our buddy Scooter.
Yeah.
Who said, I'm doing this Nova because I'm in the music business and I had a terror attack in one of my Ariana Grande shows.
Yeah.
And no one in the world after that attack yelled, oh, that guy was fighting resistance or anything. They were just saying, hey, let's get together and end this whatever just horror just happened to us. So that's something
that I'm really working on that is like the most important to me. I also have a song coming out.
Love that. Forgot to say actor, singer, dancer.
A song coming out that's kind of like a modern day We Are the World, Where Is the Love?
Oh, that's incredible.
So
is it
I'm
you
really
solo
excited.
or other people?
I'm getting other artists on it. So I'm excited about that. Performing the opening ceremony at the Maccabi Games in July.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah, so
Where is
I'm
that?
excited. In Israel.
In Israel. Because they do Maccabi all over the world.
Yeah, so this is the main one in July. So this is like they do all of that around the world first, and then you end up in Israel.
That's incredible.
And it's going to be like it's their first one in a few years, so it's going to be a big one. I'm really honored and excited about that.
We're back to the what are you worried about and what do you wish for?
What am I? You didn't
Keeping it on
forget. What am I worried about?
Eli's career, we're all worried. Listen.
After this, I'm dead.
Oh, it's over.
I'm dead.
Yeah, this is too controversial. I think
This is the
everything
end
is
for
done.
me.
Yeah.
If this ever gets out, which
You're
think
speaking about Israel.
with Baruch
Yeah.
Hashem, it never will get out.
Oh, thank God. No one will see this. Seriously.
What am I worried about? Obviously, I'm worried about the safety of everyone in Israel. I think, especially with the strikes getting more intense, I feel like. And I know the other one wasn't detected at the army base, they said, or something along those lines.
Wasn't detected, and it was within a second, as anyone could have done.
No, of course, but that's.
I don't know how it got through.
I think that's a scary thing to think about, of course. So I do hope that I am scared for obviously everyone's safety, but I do believe that, as Israel always has, they will figure it out.
Yeah.
They will come out stronger.
We've
on the
never
other
lost
end.
a war because we can't.
Yep. So that's what I'm worried about. And then the last one was what?
Wish for. What do you
What
wish
do I wish for?
What does Montana talk about?
I'm gonna sound like I'm in Miss Congeniality or something. World peace. No, but really, I think that's all I'm trying to do with my content, with my music, with my everything is just trying to unite everybody. I think
So you wish for united.
Yeah, I think that everyone. I think the world wants everyone separate. I think the more controversy, the more hatred is better for these higher up people. I don't know what it is, but
I don't know what it is.
But I think that even in general, like the other day, I went to UCLA actually, and I don't know if you know his name is Xavier. He is incredible. He's a black Christian peace activist
he's awesome.
too. He's
I
great.
know him.
You know him.
Yeah, awesome.
And we went to UCLA, and he stands for the Jewish community.
Yep.
And we talked about how the black and Jewish community were so
Forever.
united
Yeah.
a long time ago, and now there's so much separation and
Yeah.
hatred. And so we did this video in public with the students there of trying to talk about all the previous unity of the black and Jewish community and
Yep.
how we need to bring it back.
Yep.
So that's really what I am trying to do. Is I think, and the same people who are against, by the way, blacks, they're the same people who are against blacks and
of
Jews.
course.
They're usually the same people who are against Muslims and Jews.
Of course.
And so those types of people are trying to go have us all fight and go against each other.
Yep.
When we all need to be smarter and unite against terrorists.
Okay, so back to Israel. You don't have to get too dark or heavy because we try to keep it a little light, even though this world is so dark. We're trying to bring some light here. But what was the most challenging, toughest part about being there? And I don't mean just bearing witness at a kibbutz. That's sort of an obvious answer. Again, just like for me, it was talking to the grandson of a hostage. Whose grandmother was released but not rescued, whatever it was.
Lipschitz?
Yeah. And the grandfather's still there. Just talking to him, I was just crying, talking to him. Your grandfather's in a tunnel. Yeah. What was the toughest thing for you?
I think for me, consistently meeting with all of these people, but yet what's so hard is like they have so much pride still, and they have so much love in their hearts still. And I think that was like such a crazy concept for me, because I'm so angry and so upset at these people and upset that they have to go through this. But then you hear from a 12-year-old who was a hostage. He was a hostage for 54 days. And his father is still a hostage. He doesn't know if his father is still alive. Yet they want peace and they have love, and that's all they want. And you talk to them and you're like, how could you want that?
Right.
How could, like, I even said, like, if you could talk to these people who took your parents, like, what would you say?
Right.
You know? And none of them had, like, it's just they have so much love inside of them.
Yes.
And then just the pride in Israel in general is crazy after everything that they've gone through. They still have so much pride and so much love.
And so little anger.
Yes. And that's something I think that unless you've been to Israel, and especially lately, like everyone thinks I'm crazy for continuing to go back. And I'm like, no, like you have to go because you have to understand it. Like you're going to cry. You're going to feel it.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel that immense sense of like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. And this is why I will never stop doing this.
Right.
And this is why the whole world needs to like join in with me.
Right.
And
you're also going to have fun there.
Yeah, no, of course. No, Israel's the best place in the world. No, honestly, I'm just so exhausted after filming all day that I have like all these people like, hey, let's come
go
out
Tel
with me,
Aviv,
let's
baby.
go get drinks, and it's the best. And I'm like, oh, I can't even open my eyes. Like I'm so tired.
It's
but
exhausting.
I went on Birthright. That's when I first went to Israel on Birthright, and I had a lot of fun. Let me tell you.
Details to follow on the next very special
That's
episode
a whole other thing.
of Stars, Late Night Stars of David.
Birthright Confessionals.
Honestly, I'm sure you get a lot of fun ones.
Oh
on
my
that.
goodness, that has to be a new segment we'll
Yeah.
do. But it's not for now. We could talk, I think, for hours.
But we don't want to
No.
give away all our secrets.
You're familiar with the 4 questions? Yes. Well, we have our own 4 questions here on Stars of David. Yes. Are you ready, Montana?
Ready?
Okay. Who inspires you?
Of course, my mother, Michelle Tucker. My grandparents. Of course, you two.
Of course.
Yeah.
You may not want to answer this one, the second one in front of Mom, but I'm always curious about this, especially with people who, at least seemingly, have it so together, like just intellect, looks, personality, talent. It's all there, but you got to have a vice. Like at the end of that long, hard
I can
day.
tell you.
Uh-oh. Mom, did you step out?
No, she knows
What's
this.
the
It's a
vice?
problem.
I'm always curious.
I eat so terribly, and
Okay.
especially after like a long day, like I just want like French fries, pizza, like just want to
Wow.
like stuff my face and sit on my couch.
Now it's time for the third question, which always goes to Eli Leonard. Go ahead,
I
Eli.
never know what to do in this situation.
See, this is a thing because that
Yeah.
we have a guest. You
Yeah.
know that you get the third question, and yet you
can
don't
do
give
it.
this
You can
any
do it.
thought.
You got this.
You don't give this any thought.
No, there's
no
no-
thought in
no need to.
between.
No need
There's
to.
no homework.
Well, I've been wondering where you get your nails done. They're pretty good. They look great.
I think it would look really good on you, especially this crazy design.
That is a crazy. I like the
it goes
eyes.
with your outfit.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't get my nails did at all, but I like those.
And the fourth and final question is and this is like you have to make a choice. I mean, you have to.
Okay.
If you had to make a choice, but let's just say dancing like videos, and you're
Okay.
only allowed on TikTok to do one thing: dancing videos or Instagram advocacy videos for ending Jew hatred in Israel and everything. You have a choice. Pick one.
It's not even a question.
Oh, really? Wow.
Not even a question.
Well, I got to tell you, if that question was posed to me, you could never do comedy and never act again, or speak up about just on videos. On Instagram, it has to be either all Israel or all comedy. I think I would choose comedy. Isn't that crazy?
I think for
Am I a
me,
bad person or a bad Jew?
No, you're setting yourself up in a hypothetical to be one, but I don't think.
We know deep down. You're a good one.
That is fascinating.
I think
to
for me, when you question, because honestly, like especially over this past year, like dancing, music, acting, it's my heart. It's what I absolutely love, my passion. But I truly feel like this is my real purpose in life. And I think I'm really grateful that I've built a following from my dancing, from my singing. And I'm so thankful now that I'm able to blend all my worlds.
Right.
But I would never just stop doing this. I think that would be
That's
that would
fascinating
be,
because you're also a
terrible.
ball of talent and ability. And just to like not use that, you know what makes people go nuts? When you're born with so much talent as you were, like you can't deny it. I know you're humble and all that. You were born with extraordinary talent. You could do things in a way that most humans cannot even attempt. Certainly not me. And
I think you guys could.
oh no, he can't dance.
I can do anything.
I believe in you.
So when you're born with that, to just quell it and quash it for your advocacy.
But that's why I think it's interesting now that I'm finding ways to blend them. And I think that's something that you've done also with your
Yeah.
comedy. Like,
Yeah.
who would think that you're gonna do a comedy show in the midst of a war talking
Yes.
about like, Hamas, but you
Yeah.
find ways to do it and
Yeah.
make it where it's not offensive,
Right.
where it's actually still advocating for your people, but through
Correct.
comedy. And so I think that we don't have to choose. And I
Correct.
know it was a life or death question, but like we actually don't have to choose, which I think
That's the beauty
why
of life. Yeah.
why we all need to be speaking out and doing something is because maybe back in the day during the Holocaust,
Right,
it
you
didn't
had
matter.
to-
It didn't matter how rich you were, how successful you were, how famous. If Instagram was around, it wouldn't matter how many followers you had. Like if you were a Jew,
Right.
any percentage Jew, like that was it. No one
Right.
cared. Nowadays, we have these voices. Like we
Right.
are actually able to use them. When back then they weren't, unfortunately. So that's why we have to keep going and we can't stop no matter what,
This Montana Tucker, ladies and gentlemen, it not only looks like a model, but is a model of just the perfect
I need you around me
person.
all times.
She is the
Come
model of
on.
the perfect
Thank
person.
you.
I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Eli, what do you make of Montana Tucker?
Good guest. That's it.
That's all you got.
Just leave me out of this part.
Okay,
As
fine.
much as you can. As much as you physically can.
Okay.
Try to keep me out of any part where it would just be you otherwise.
Well, I have one word for, I have one word for you, but I have one word for Montana Tucker and how I feel about her. Impressive.
Impressive.
She is so impressive, and in a myriad of ways. And I think that when you have that much talent, I'm not kidding when I say this, she excels at dancing and so many other things in a way that nobody does. And when you're born with that much talent and ability, it makes you a little meshuggah. It really does. Most people with an inordinate amount of talent, Michael Jackson, not the most normal person.
Right, you pointed to the craziest.
Yeah. Okay, fine. But also the most talentedest.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And when you have too much talent, sometimes it messes with you. I remember when Sasha, my wife, used to say to me, I don't think you're going to be like the biggest star. She always believed in my success and all that. She would always root for me, but she would go, you're too normal.
I like that you talk about her belief in you as if it's something in the past. It was.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's interesting what switched. Yes, that was in the past, and she's given up all hope.
Good. Yeah.
But let me tell you something that was also in the past. Her thinking that I'm too normal and not eccentric enough to ever make it big in Hollywood. She now knows that I'm as insane as the others, and I'm going to have a huge career eventually. So my one word for Montana is impressive, but I'm like super impressed by everything about her. Okay, and that's why I'm proud to consider her a friend. And speaking of friends, who are my best friends in life, Eli?
Willie, Schiffer.
No, it's my mother and father.
Oh, your mother and father.
Yeah, they're my best
Oh,
friends.
of course.
Okay,
I didn't
they
know.
will never turn their backs on me. They will always be my besties.
That's cute.
Thank you and welcome. What is the Yiddish word of the week?
The Yiddish word of the week is mention.
Mention. Now, this has the origin of the word is mensch, like good person, a good.
Very good. Yes.
Thank you. And what does this
But
mean,
that's
though?
the plural word.
Mention is one person. Mention is people in general.
Wow.
Oh.
Now this is a common word, and if there's one thing that I wanted you guys to share with the world is words that maybe no one's heard of. Mensch, everyone, you may as well say schwitz or plotz or putz or schmuck. We know mensch. I thought you were teaching us.
No, mention.
Oh, because this is mention.
Mention.
A
I'll
mention. I own a mention and a yacht. Wait, this is plural. Oh, so you're saying you took a word that everybody knows and
People.
just made it in the plural.
Right.
I
It's plural.
see. I
Right.
see. So use it in a sentence,
Right.
for example.
What?
Now, he's going to sing a song.
Oh, even better than a sentence, a
people.
song.
It's a
Even better
song.
than a what?
A sentence is when you sing a
okay.
song, Dad. Here you go.
Menschen beslagen Menschen. Zijn de glückliche Menschen in de Welt.
This is
Is that-
amazing.
As Barbra Streisand.
Of course,
What?
we know that it's the people who need people song, but we may
Yes.
have a copyright infringement if you sing another bar. But Dad, I loved you singing that song, and that was
But-
people who need people, except you did it mention who need mention.
Yes.
In the Yiddish culture,
Ooh.
when you say mention, before you say the adjective, you have to say Heilige Menschen. Heilige Menschen who love
Are holy people.
truth are holy people.
Oh.
And holy people like Heilige Menschen love truth, Torah,
Mhm.
and peace. And peace.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more. And that's what the Torah teaches. The Torah preaches tikkun olam, healing the world. Every man is equal. And I wish that everyone followed.
Exactly.
I'm not kidding when I say thank you for sharing that. And I wish all people knew that that was our true intentions. And it's not to control the
Exactly.
weather, which we're doing, obviously.
Which would be nice if we could.
I would love to. I would say a balmy
God.
75 every day. If only we could control the weather. If we control the weather, do you think it would even be chilly ever? Well, thank you, Mom and Dad. Love you all, and we'll see you in the next episode. Anyway, Eli and I, you could see us live. Imagine this live. It's like this, but you're right there. You could smell it.
I don't know if they want that.
We're going to be at the Paramount Theater in Huntington, Long Island, December 29th. It's a big Hanukkah show. 1,300 people will be there to celebrate Hanukkah and laughter.
Okay.
Eli, special guest, 15 minutes. Me, an hour. I think 15 minutes of you is more than
More than an hour.
more than what they
Sure.
want.
Yeah, it's more than I can do.
So come see us there. Go to elongold.com/tour for tickets. And as always, Stars of David with me, Elon Gold, and that guy is a production of Unpacked, a division of Open Door Media. Subscribe to Stars of David wherever podcasts are available. And full episodes are available to watch on YouTube. Most of all, be in touch. Write us at starsofdavid@jewishunpacked.com. And now we end as we always do.
Oh.
So do actual, we know the lyrics. Don't pretend like we...
I don't know all of them.
You don't know the lyrics.
I know.
Good everybody.
Good